Hello, everybody. Oh, is it working? Someone's got to mute the iPad. All right. This is excellent. Everyone, thank you so much for coming. There's a little bit of an echo. Just hold on. Okay, are we good? Excellent. So sorry about that. Thank you so much for coming. This is very interesting experiment here. We've got lots going on. We have some people in person. We have some people at home. We have some people in the chat. Hi, Preston. This is very exciting. Thank you all for coming. This is going to be an awesome way to celebrate this ridiculously strange year. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Chisholm. I think has some intro to give.
I do. Me and my COVID hair have some intro to give. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, although Gabe did it 4 times. What a strange year, and we're not going to focus on that tonight. We're going to focus on an amazing senior class. Normally, I find this banquet, this is the 3rd annual, and when we started this a few years ago, it was very much to celebrate the entire program and everyone in it. But this year was just a little different. And as if the COVID experience wasn't different enough, we are also in a situation where this is a particularly excellent and important senior class. And I'm going to continue to say we're not focusing on what we lost, which is very hard. But I think it's a good night to celebrate them. If you're joining us from home, most of the seniors, you can see them on the other camera there that has my name on it. Couple couldn't make it, but this is the first time they've been able to be together as a group since last March. And we keep talking about last March like it was, the beginning of something awful. And in some ways it was. In other ways, coming out of this and just seeing them together is just, it's so nice to see, even if it's the night before their last day of classes. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. I hope you enjoyed the speeches. Before we start, I wanted to say a word about the unfinished journey. Education itself is an unfinished journey. I find that we are learning about ourselves and each other and going about the world. It doesn't end at the end of high school or college, or if you continue to go to school, or if you drop out when you're 12. It's learning about the world and making connections with people, and your environment is so much of what education is. And so often we think of high school as the end of something, and every graduation happens every year. Someone says, this isn't the end, it's the beginning. And the fact is, it's both and neither. And I think that my message tonight would be that the unfinished journey every year of my seniors is so difficult to think that this is the last we'll be together. But this group, in addition to 2020's graduating seniors, this is a little more unfinished. And it leaves us room to see each other again and come back and be a part of each other's lives. You guys are going to go off in your separate directions as you do, but we're planning some things, myself and the PMA and some of the juniors. We've already talked about what we're going to be doing going forward to keep you included here. And I can't think of a better class to do it with for 2 reasons. 1, closure was tough with you guys, and 2, this is just such a great senior class. If I wasn't to see you guys again, it would be very personally difficult for me. I want to especially thank the people who put this together and frankly kept this thing afloat so much this year when it was so difficult to do. Gabe Proyer is the Chief of Staff, who you've already heard from tonight. We'll hear from again quite a bit. Our Director of Communications is Lainey Schneider, who has been so pivotal and really has been Gabe's assistant in so much of this stuff this year. I want to thank April, who was Lainey's assistant, who did so much of the other communications. They decorated. If you look around the seniors right now, even though we're only going to be in this band room for like 1 day all year, that room hasn't been decorated that nicely in a long time. And then I want to give special thanks to Rose Curry, who has taken on the roles of Gabe's assistant, Lainey's assistant, April's assistant. She's been a librarian. She's just done so much for this program and everyone in it over the past few years. But I want to thank her personally for her organizational skills and just being so supportive and so integral to what we're doing here. So I've said enough. As usual, I'm going to sit back, relax, and enjoy what it is these kids have to say about each other. Back to Gabe.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chisholm. Again, I'm Gabe Proyer, the Chief of Staff. All right, so we're going to start off with some senior speeches. We do this every year. It's a great way for the seniors' peers to kind of send them off. So we're going to start off. The senior is Daniel Zogby, and Joel Hinrichs will be presenting.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joel. So Daniel will be attending UNH in the fall. I think I met him my freshman year, 2 years ago. I think it was actually in men's choir. But ever since then, I've really grown to like Daniel. He's a really positive person. He's always a joy to be around. This year, I've gotten closer to him, both in choir and in wind ensemble. And I just really appreciate everything about him. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna miss you, Daniel. Basically, is what I wanted to say. Good luck on your future endeavors. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Joel. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. Okay, moving on. Next, we're going to hear about Vinith Yedidi from Adelaide Brownhill.
Hi. Okay. Vinith is a really good friend of mine, and I would say he's a really good friend of everyone. He's always really happy and ready to go. Outside of being a remote student with Vinith this year, which has been an adventure, believe me, I've never had any classes with him outside of band, actually. And honestly, about 90% of our interactions have been because of music. We've attended festivals together and played in multiple groups inside and outside of school, and Vinith has always been a pleasure to work with. A fond memory of Vinith is when, during our sophomore year, Vinith, myself, and Owen Goldner, RIP, attended the All States Music Festival together. We bonded over being socially awkward at a festival for band geeks. It was great. This year, Vinith and I have been fully remote students, and I've had the pleasure of being in an English class with him. He is usually prepared for class, but is always witty and full of random historical facts pertaining to whatever era we're focusing on. I know because of this that he is more than ready to go off to college and will absolutely thrive. Vinith will be attending NYU for economics and history and hopes to continue playing clarinet and saxophone in their classical and jazz ensembles. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Addie. All right, next we're going to be hearing about Henry Wicks from Hildy Wicks.
Okay. Yeah, as far as older brothers go, Henry's probably one of the better ones out there. No matter how much I complain about him to all of my friends, I've known him my entire life, and he has taught me a lot of things, like 3 times 5 equals 15, cucumbers have water in them, how to effectively sock someone with a baby doll, the basics. And the choices he's made have impacted me as well. He chose to have music and band as a big part of his life, and I chose to be in band as well because of that. He chose to play the oboe. I didn't. It wasn't exactly my favorite thing to begin with. 4th grade Henry practicing the oboe. But as time went on, I was forced to accept it. He's really, really good. And he's really good at a lot of things. Circus arts, playing words with friends, drawing, Spice Girls tribute acts, making me really, really annoyed. But yeah, I'll miss hearing his late night practice sessions and all of his Minecraft calls, coming down for a glass of water at 2 a.m. and seeing him making bowls of cereal to get his fibers in. But yeah, as bitter as it is having him go, it's also pretty sweet. He's going to be studying philosophy at Brandeis, and I will be home enjoying the storage space he leaves behind. Henry, I don't think you need to hear this, but I just really hope you stay true to yourself. When we were in middle school, Mom used to talk to me about how your friend group, you attracted some interesting characters, and I think that just attests to how tolerant you are and how much you just see people however they want to be. So, yeah, Love you lots. Have fun at college, bestie. And please don't forget to pay your mortgages.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Hildy. All right, next we're going to hear about Joshua Weinberg from Jacob Reinach.
Okay, so since I started playing jazz at the high school, Josh Weinberg has always been just a friendly face that I can turn to. I came in as kind of a nervous and a quiet freshman, but Josh made me feel comfortable and at home in the music programs by cracking jokes and just being a kind person overall. Whether it's continuously playing Wipeout or the Home Depot theme, or it's just goofing off with the rhythm section when the wind instruments in jazz are tuning, he just has an uncanny ability to make people smile. Not only has he been a constant source of fun, but Josh also helped me to learn how to communicate in a combo and just make music interesting. When we aren't scrambling around trying to figure out where to stand in comparison to the rest of the band on stage, I remember spending rehearsals glancing back and forth, trying to figure out like how to build the backgrounds to solo sections in our jazz groups. He's a talented musician and arranger with strong ambitions that I believe will serve him greatly in his future endeavors at Pratt Institute, where he's going to college and beyond that. I look up to him as a musician and a friend, but also as a person. He's always willing to help people out, and that is something so admirable about him. He is always willing to share music or move equipment too for anybody that asks him to. I can't wait for him to visit us in the future to play some Beatles or Home Depot medleys, or maybe ahead of Take 5. Congratulations, Josh. I know that the future holds some awesome things for you, and I'm excited to see all that you do. It's been an absolute pleasure, man.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. All right, next we're going to hear about Mitch Botoriu from Otto Pressler. We have a quick scene change here.
Oh my God. Sorry, I didn't know I was going next. Okay. So my earliest memory with Mitch is probably this game we used to play in elementary school. I won't go into the details, but it involved punching each other relentlessly the entire bus ride home. And to be totally honest, I don't even remember like how you would win or if you could even win, but it was all in good fun. And to my knowledge, nobody got seriously hurt. And I also think in some weird way, it kind of like bonded us. We had this weird connection where we could both look at each other and go, hey, remember that game we used to play? And the other one would just nod in solemn recognition and say, yeah. Today, Mitch still remains a friendly face, and he's someone who will never cease to make me smile, whether through incessant dad jokes and puns or some actual funny and well thought out joke. So for those of you who don't know, Mitch will be attending WPI to study computer science. And I mean, he should have fun there because I just found out, and this is actually true, it's ranked number 4 in the happiest freshmen in the country. So again, you should really enjoy it. And I'm going to really miss you. And I know to that, Mitch is probably thinking, hi, really going to miss you? I'm Mitch.
We're doing superlatives later, and we should have put in one for best dad jokes. That's a real shame. Anyway, next we're going to hear about Noah Sternick from Eli Corey.
Okay, so this is Noah, and he's going to Lafayette College and he's majoring in engineering. And I could talk about like what he's actually doing, but I'm going to talk about one of my favorite memories from him, where it was the last day of summer camp, and me and him and like 10 other kids, it was on the last day of camp, and we were trying to grab as many Oreos as we could just to take home and do whatever with them. And you're only allowed one. So we just sent through multiple kids through the lunch line multiple times, and we got like 50 Oreo packages, and there's like 300 Oreos in all of them. And as I remember, we put them all in Noah's backpack, and I literally think he just took them all home. I think we decided that he should be the one to take him home. I have no idea why, but he just took him home, and it wasn't really for the Oreos. It was just for the fun of it. That's like it's like one of the best memories of camps because I've known him for like 6 years. That's one of my most fond memories. And once you get through all like the sarcasm and actually get to know the guy, he's like really funny and he's a great guy to know. And I'm gonna miss him a lot. And I hope he does well in college and in the future.
Thanks, Eli. All right, next we're going to hear about April Smurden from Rebecca DePalma.
That bottom photo, oh my God. So I've known April for almost my whole life. I met her when I was 5 after she accidentally gave my sister a bloody nose. It's kind of a long story, but I think it's like the most April introduction I think she could have had. You know, over time, she's evolved from being one of my sister's friends into becoming one of my close ones. She's seen me act like an idiot for a very long time and evolve through some pretty awkward phases, yet it hasn't thrown her off her trail at all. I know I can always count on her to tell me the truth, no matter how blunt it is, and she has never failed to make me laugh. While her sarcastic exterior can often be mistakenly interpreted as rude or intimidating, she is honestly one of the kindest people I know. She's incredibly intelligent and genuine, but also very humble. I'll miss hanging out in the band room with her, griping about her classes and teachers, and the #1 dad mug she always used to drink her coffee out of. April is planning on studying biology and attending either UMass Lowell or Australian National University. I know she will thrive no matter what she decides to do, and I will miss her greatly. Congratulations on making it through to senior year, and I wish you good luck wherever your future takes you.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we're going to hear about Lainey Schneider from Nicole Bring.
Well, hello. Lainey, I don't even know how to say how awesome you are, but I can try. I've gotten to know Lainey pretty well over the past 2 years, and I can't imagine band without her. She's so kind and friendly, and she brightens every room she enters. I love how she always keeps snacks in her band locker, and she's always willing to share. Though I guess it is much easier to share a year-old Keebler cookies that are left in school over COVID. They still tasted good, just a little bit stale. Lainey is also super dedicated to her role as communications director of the band. Not only is she always willing to do the most for the band program, but it always seems like she's thinking 3 steps ahead at all times. At board meetings, she always has an email or Google form pre-written and ready to send with the exact information it needs before the board even tells her to write it. I really admire her dedication and motivation, and I know she's going to put those abilities to good use in the future. I'll miss walking into the band room to see Lainey hanging out during lunch or a study. I'll miss our mask break conversations before band class, and I'll miss having her around to help me with various things, such as remembering how to use the copy machine. Overall, we'll all miss you, Lainey, and we'll miss the hard work you put into this program. I wish you the best at Northeastern University where you'll be studying civil engineering, and I hope you come back to visit us very soon.
Thank you, Nicole. That was wonderful. All right, next we will be hearing about myself, Gabriel Pereira, the Chief of Staff from Sam Bean.
I had a conversation recently with Chiz about the future of the Natick High School band program after this year's senior class leaves. Chiz mentioned that the freshman class when he came in was the cornerstone of the band's culture, and by the time I arrived, I saw a definite ringleader. I think the energy Gabe brings to the band room is something my fellow juniors and I can only hope to replicate. I'm referencing first and foremost the fact that having Gabe and Mr. Chisholm in the same room is a perfect storm. One witty joke in the beginning of 4th period would have us derailed for half an hour. Chiz would be on his computer projecting Gabe's more comedy than music playing assessments, playfully snapping, "Shut up, Proya," or simply pausing and laughing, having no comment to possibly top Gabe's. He'll disagree with me, but Gabe is probably the best trumpet player I know. This is not only because his sound is unlike anything I've ever heard, save for a professional recording, but because of the genuine joy he finds in music. Gabe has participated in junior districts, senior districts, all states, Rivers Orchestra, BISO, jazz band, and the high school's pit band. He seems to me to be always looking for opportunities to play and cherishing them, even when, maybe in the case of that last one, no one else did. I'm charmed by how Gabe has come to appreciate music in his life. He respects it as art to be shared with others and a means by which to connect with his peers, and I truly believe he's brought that to the band program in his 4 years here. For lack of a better word, it's contagious. That doesn't just make him a great member of the program or even a fantastic musician, it makes him an inspiring person. I haven't met a single other person who's definitively said, as Gabe has, that they genuinely enjoyed their high school experience. The fact that he was able to make the most of his time here is why we as a school, and more specifically a program, we're incredibly lucky to have him. I'm gonna miss this kid's one-liners, and I'm jealous of all the people he'll make laugh at Amherst College, where he'll be majoring in history and continuing music. Good luck, Gabe.
Gonna make me cry on camera. All right, thank you. Next up, we'll be hearing about Nathan Pravda from Jonathan Sugarman.
All right, so my relationship with Nathan Pravda began over 15 years ago when I was born. We have always been family friends. We have also participated in the same extracurricular activities such as Boy Scouts. Nathan was even the troop leader. He even found a way to mix band and Boy Scouts. He was the troop bugler, meaning that he was the one to wake us up with the bugle while we were camping. As you can imagine, that was just so much fun. We also go to the same summer camp. I recently found out that Nathan will be coming back as a counselor this year. So just when I thought he was moving to St. Louis for 4 years, we'll be living together at Camp Tevye for the next 2 months. And finally, in August, Nathan will leave Natick for Washington University in St. Louis. It's been wonderful to be able to spend so much of my time with someone as amazing as Nathan. I can only wish him luck in college and in his future.
Thanks, Jonathan. All right, next up, we're going to hear about Tyler Master Mateo from Colin Gagnon.
So I am not Colin because he could not be here tonight. So I'm going to be reading his speech for Tyler for him. Okay. Hi. So my name is Colin, and I will be presenting about Tyler tonight. Oh, Tyler, Tyler, Tyler. Where do I start? I've known you for what, 10 years? Geez. Some of you may know this, but Tyler and I have older brothers. They're the same age, and they've been best friends since 5th grade, and funny enough, they go to the same college. I'm not quite sure the first day I was introduced to you, but the earliest memory I have of you is when your family invited my family to your vineyard house over one summer. Being the self-centered second grader I was going to hang out with my brother's friends' younger brothers for a weekend was something I remember not being too excited for. I had heard all these stories from my brother Charlie about how his best friend Lucas had a hilarious little brother who would make the craziest jokes. I had totally thought that my brother was overhyping this kid, but I was sure soon to be proved wrong. Walking into that house and finally meeting this kid was a moment I'll never forget. I really don't know if you were making faces at your younger brother Jared or trying to show off how long you could hold your breath for, but me being me, all I could think to myself was, I want to be friends with this kid. As I learned more and more about him over the years of our friendship, I hadn't really realized how much we had in common until I started writing this. Everything from skiing, which you are better than me at, to music, which you are one of the most musically inclined people I have ever met, to food, and especially making fun of our middle school band director with Gabe and Daniel. Through all of this, though the most memorable thing to me is our competitive nature. I never met someone who wanted to win as much as I did until I met Tyler. And I really don't want to admit this, but I had never met someone until you that could actually give me some competitions and beat me in games. Whether it was a video game or ping pong or wiffle ball with our brothers, I think every single time we played each other, an argument occurred about a rule or a call just out of the nature of us wanting to win at all costs. Through it, although your humor has impacted my life more than anything, if I never met you, I'm sure my jokes would be dull, and I would have never been able to find anyone to make me laugh to the point of crying. It's sad for me to think of this, but Tyler's time here at NHS is up. This fall, Tyler will be attending American University and majoring in audio production. I have no doubt in my mind that you will make an impact on your school and make many more people laugh like you did for me and so many others here in Natick. I'm really going to miss you, my guy. You're the funniest person I've ever met, hands down, and I can't wait to come visit you and beat you in ping pong. Love you, kid.
Thank you, Colin. Okay, next up, we're going to hear about Travis Knowlton from River Taylor. And I think we've got another scene change here, so be patient, please.
All right, so yeah, Travis has been just a great person and a great friend, just in general, over the time that I've gotten to know him, since the start of middle school to now. And I've come to love everything about him, from his kindness to his love of salt. He's a good listener and has always been there if he needed someone to talk to. I really respected that. He's also a really good person to joke around with. I actually remember one time, so it was after a gov test that we were all taking. It was like a big gov test, and there was a class party, and someone was playing the song "Mask Off" by Future, and Travis pulled out his flute in the class and played along. I wasn't actually there, but I saw the videos that people had taken of it afterwards, and it seemed amazing. So yeah, I have so much respect for Travis. He's such a great person, and I wish him good luck as he goes on to UMass Amherst next year.
Thanks, River. Okay, next up, we're going to hear about Ella Gerard from Ella Stern.
Hi. So I first met Ella at the winter band concert last year, when she told me that she was told to be a role model for the freshmen, but she didn't think she'd be good at it. I think she said just to do the opposite of what she does. But she was a lot better of a role model than she gave herself credit for. First off, Ella is just a really cool person. She seems to do her own thing and not care what anyone else thinks, which I've always looked up to her for. For example, you can often see her jamming out to each band piece. You can also see her going around to different percussionists to compliment them, offer them advice, help them with their part, or make a joke. I admire how she is so helpful and so easily able to talk to everyone. This quality of hers makes the whole percussion section closer and stronger. If that's not what a role model would do, I don't know what is. Next year, Ella is going to Gordon College for field hockey. I've only played in person in the same band as Ella for 2 weeks, but I thoroughly enjoyed every day of it. I wish I'd gotten to play in band with her for a longer time, but I can't wait to see everything she does in the future. Ella, thank you for being such an amazing person, an amazing percussionist. It's been an honor to be the other percussionist named Ella. I'll miss you.
Thanks, Ella, and thanks, Ella. Next, we're gonna hear about Maddie Dissinger from Rabquan Chamatiampo.
Hi, my name is Rob Kwan. I'm going to be presenting for Maddie. I will always remember the first day we met in middle school. You were the first person who ever invited me to sit at a lunch table with them, regardless of how awkward I was. You accepted me for me. From then on, we would sit our lunch periods together every afternoon, and during them, we would share our tremendous struggles in Mr. Morrow's class to the weird celebrity crushes we had that week. You were the first person with whom I felt comfortable with, and I will forever appreciate that. I can't even believe that we are graduating now. It feels too soon, but I can't wait to see you do amazing things at Curry College. Your odd fascination with babies have always amazed me, but I know you'll make a great nurse. I'm so grateful we finished band together like we promised to each other. You made my band experiences fun, exciting, and memorable. Thank you. You and the Natick Band will always hold a special place in my heart. Never shall we forget the time we spent with each other, and may we continue to be friends.
Thanks, Rabquan. Next, we're gonna hear about Katie DePalma from Ashley King.
I first remember meeting Katie in concert band. Although she didn't have to, she took it upon herself to welcome me, an awkward freshman, into the oboe section. From day one, Katie has been nothing but kind and welcoming. From band camp to playing the tambourines during pep band, bonding over Mr. K's oboe lessons, being in pain over senior districts and oboe recitals, and that one awful tuning incident. To be fair, trying to tune a bunch of oboes is always awful, but that was one time that really stood out. I've been so lucky to be able to play oboe alongside Katie these past couple of years. She's an amazing person and an incredibly talented oboe player. I'll miss her a lot, but I know she'll do great things in the future. Speaking of the future, Katie is going to University of Vermont and majoring in history. It's unfortunate that the majority of band class this year has been on Google Meet, but it's been a joy to be in band with Katie these past couple of weeks. I'll miss you, oboe, and good luck at University of Vermont.
Thank you, Ashley. Next up, we're going to hear about Rose Curry from Julia Rothschild.
Hi. So I have the absolute pleasure of talking about Rose, who her contribution to this program cannot be overstated. She's done so much work and invested so much time. So I've had the pleasure of playing in band with Rose for the last few years, and I can't even begin to imagine it without her. I met Rose when I was sneaking onto the wrong bus my freshman year, and we've been friends ever since. Little did I know at the time I'd be writing this speech to say goodbye all too soon. Rose has this amazing quality of lighting up a room and looking on the bright side. Even at the below freezing football games, she was lightening the mood as usual, after an entire bucket of cotton candy, of course, which I won't forget the look on her face when she realized the plastic bucket was empty and she'd finished it all on her own. Rose is an incredibly hard worker and a dedicated person. As a quartermaster for concert band for the past 3 or 4 years, I think, it's been a while, it is Rose's job to keep the band room clean and essentially ensure that everything runs smoothly. And she's taken on a ton of responsibility that isn't really hers, but we're thankful for it. Not to mention the work she also does for crew with the plays each year, and I can't even begin to imagine. Every time I walk into the band room, Rose is working on something new with a smile on her face. I'm not convinced she doesn't live here. I will certainly miss that smile when Rose continues her education studying architecture at the Wentworth Institute of Technology. We love you.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. Next up, we're going to hear about Kat Coyne from Carolyn Riley.
Hi everyone, I'm Caroline. So I've known Kat ever since I became Natick Drama Workshop in 5th grade. And so even as a 5th grader and Kat as an 8th grader, she was such an incredible role model to have. I always thought she was the coolest person, and I'm gonna miss how outgoing, kind, and funny she is. It was so much fun spending more time with her during the student-run show, and I was lucky to have her as a mentor because she's a great leader and choreographer. Kat is so unbelievably talented at everything she does, especially dance, but she is a triple threat. Kat, I know you'll accomplish great things when you go to beautiful UVM next year when you study psychology and dance. It has been an honor to get to know you, and I hope we stay in touch. We will all miss you, Kat, and congratulations.
Thank you, Caroline. Next, we're going to hear about Victoria Conrad from Elliston.
I first met Vicky in concert band last year, and I could immediately tell that she was a person I wanted to get to know. On the first day, we were told to stand in a circle with our section and talk. I'm sure I looked lost, so she came up to me, introduced herself, and explained what was going on. All throughout the year, she continued to help me in this way. She also helped the section as a whole. She is always very organized and put together, getting instruments and organizing sheet music. We often said that the percussion section would be nowhere without her. And I remember her being really helpful in theater too. People were always thanking her and saying that stage crew would be nowhere without her either. Next year, Vicky is going to Ithaca College to major in computer science. So, Vicky, the last thing I want to say is thank you for helping me feel so welcome in band. I would never have felt as comfortable making friends in band if you hadn't been so kind and open-hearted.
From showing me the ropes last year to always making a point to chat with me throughout class and before arts leadership, you have truly been a great friend. I'll miss you, and I can't wait to see everything you accomplish in college and beyond.
Thank you. Next up, we're going to hear about Alex Cohen from Sam Kim, who is running frantically.
Yeah, so I did not know I was speaking next. So, all right. So I'm going to talk about Alex Cohen today. I first met Alex during jazz band at Wilson while I was in 7th grade. And as fellow alto saxes in first row, we hit it off really fast. And he was one of the most entertaining people to talk to. His energy in the room was like really infectious. And whether it was him complaining about how loud I played all the time, or when I laughed so hard a booger flew out of my nose, there was always something to talk about. We had a lot of fun for the year we were there together, and during the various events, concerts, and rehearsals. Even after he left through the high school, we maintained a rapport, and our love for jazz both grew. After Alex graduates, I'll regret the fact we only got to play together for a year because of COVID and quarantine messing up our lives. But nevertheless, once we managed to start playing together this year, we immediately began to have fun again, once more, even when in Wind Ensemble we barely managed to play anything correctly. Even after you leave for college, I hope you'll continue to foster your love for jazz and music. And I want to congratulate you for your acceptance into Tulane, a great school, especially as your choice to major in architecture. I know you'll continue to be an amazing, hilarious person at Tulane, making just as many people smile, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Sam. Next, we're going to hear about Rob Kwan from Maddie Dissinger.
In 5th grade, Rob Kwan and I were placed in a reading group together, and we bonded over our hatred for the book Esperanza Rising. Little did I know that that book group would spark a friendship and that I would be here talking about Rob Kwan 8 years later. Like all friendships, we've had our falling outs, but we grew as individuals, and through the power of band, our dynamic friendship crescendoed. Even though Rob Kwan practically dragged me to every football game to play in pep band, I have many memories that will last a lifetime. I know she's going to do great things when she's off at Tufts Museum of Fine Arts, and I can't wait to look back at these memories and smile.
Thanks. All right, last but certainly not least, we have Adelaide Brownhill. We'll be hearing from Sam Bean.
Hello again. When I talked with Addie about doing her senior speech, she joked to me that she wanted to make sure I'd mention all of her many accomplishments. She can rest assured they'd be impossible to omit. Addie participated in Junior District's frosh year, Senior District sophomore, junior, and senior year, all state sophomore, junior, and senior year, and all nationals last year. She'll be attending Bard College next year and will be double majoring in bassoon performance and something else. So, overachieving. No one's surprised. I've played with Addie since I joined the Wilson Winds in my 6th grade year. Since I met her, she was a step ahead of the rest. I considered her one of the top dogs at the Natick Band program and continued to believe it throughout her high school career. She's easily someone I'm both intimidated and inspired by. She has confidence in her bassoon skills, which I truly envy. The confidence. Horn is still better than bassoon. She also has such an acute drive to be better that I think truly pushes the limits of what it means to be a talented young musician. These qualities raise the bar for our program and set an example of ambition that I hope will be passed down after she leaves. At Wilson, after Addie graduated 8th grade, the ensemble had a bit where we'd whine, "Addie," longingly whenever a vacant bassoon part was mentioned. It was a demonstration of the presence she had when she was there, and that we definitely felt it when she was gone. I think that even after she left, her spirit, centered around love for music and a desire to succeed, stuck around. I plan on holding on to that when she goes to Bard, because those qualities build something special. Over the years, Addie has become a close friend of mine, dare I say like an older sister. I'm grateful for her friendship and advice, and I hope I can adopt even an ounce of her poise, enthusiasm, charm, and work ethic. Addie, I can't wait to see what you accomplish in college, because I know it's going to be ridiculous.
All that's the last speech. Thank you all so much for speaking. That was phenomenal. My heart is warmed. I'm sure everyone else's is as well. All right, we're going to be moving on to the superlative section, a little bit more lighthearted, although, you know, it's all pretty lighthearted. So we've decided to break this up into 3 sections this year because we've had a lot of crazy transitions. So we're going to start off by doing 5 superlatives from the pre-pandemic times, and then we'll have a few from the online ban period, and then we'll wrap it up with the back in person, which was just the past over 3 or 4 weeks in the auditorium. So let's get started. All right. The most likely to spend every waking moment in the band room is Rose Curry, predictably. Woo! Next up, most likely to knock something over. Drum roll, please. Josh Weinberg. We're handing out these, but some people don't want to collect them right now, I assume. Okay. Next up, most likely to eat in the practice room. Drum roll. Colin Gagnon. And finally, for the pre-pandemic, most likely to nap in the band room, Daniel Zogby. And there's actually one more in the pre-pandemic. Most likely to use the Keurig goes to Gabe Troya, Chief of Staff. All right, going to online band. First up, most likely to never turn in their recordings. April Smurden.
I turned them in yesterday.
They're all turned in. They're all turned in.
People tell the truth.
No.
She has turned all of them in, but the last one, she turned in a tune she felt like playing instead of the one.
Obviously well deserved. Most likely to have their camera off during class goes to Henry Wicks. Next up. Okay, this goes to the least likely to use their phone during class. Most people are very guilty of this, so drum roll. Brian Fernandez. All right, and most likely to make a joke in the chat that derails the class for 20 minutes award goes to Tyler Mastrowitz. All right, and most likely to not know music theory and copy everyone else in the chat goes to Noah Sterning. It was anyone's game on that one, though. All right, back in person. First up, we have most likely to never change their mask. Award goes to Jonathan Sugarman. Woo! Most likely to come back late from mask break goes to Finnick Yedidi. Let it be known that Vinith was in the Remote Learning Academy and never went to a mask break in the first place. Okay, next up. Most likely to have dairy during snack break, even though Mr. Chisholm specifically told us not to have dairy. Travis Knowlton. He loves salt and milk. Most likely to greet the remote kids on the iPad. Nicole Bring. All right, I think that's all the superlatives we have tonight. I think we're going to wrap up with a short little video that Nicole put together that shows a little bit about the band program and some fun memories. Thank you all for coming so much, and we'll do it an outro afterward. I want to give another special thanks to Nicole for putting that together. So thank you. All right, we're approaching the end of the evening. I think Mr. Chisholm's going to take us out, but I just want to say thank you all so much for, it's kind of an historic occasion, our first hybrid band banquet, and hopefully our last hybrid band banquet.
Yeah, this is, yeah. Tonight before the jazz performance, welcome to the last annual remote jazz performance, and I hope that's true of this. And this class deserves so much better, but there are times I think about how we got here, and I'm disappointed in how it went. At the same time, I'm lucky to have known them at all. I want to thank you for coming. Seniors, tomorrow is the last day. Let's take a few minutes to get. We'll have like Rob Kwan sticking her head in from the side and all of that kind of thing. And concert band, we'll be back at it tomorrow morning. We've got a good recording, and a couple things I want to impress upon everyone listening. One is what disappointed me about this year was how close we were to coming back together. I know we're standing 10 feet apart in there, and some of the recordings we did are Pomp and Circumstance sounded fantastic even in that room. But because it's so late, we got to do a couple things that we weren't going to get to do. And the last one, and seniors, I really hope you can all make it. And for that matter, we have one order of business that was just added to our schedule, and Gabe and Laney will be in touch regarding the date. But even though seniors are done tomorrow and really, really done next Friday, we've been given permission to do the annual choir versus band kickball game. And the trophy is in my office, and I have no intention of handing it back to those throats and sopranos. So you get the date when I don't know if it's finalized. Gabe will let you know. But even if it's after you guys are well on your way, I hope you'll be there, even if it's just to make fun of people who are really good at kickball. And then I wanted to do it, but as usual, there's always a tech problem. But I have a date circled on my calendar. If you look over my shoulder, I have the Marine calendar back there. And I figured out that I think it's on December 23rd, hopefully when all of you are back from your first semester and looking forward to seeing each other and haven't forgot about us or this place. I want to do an alumni event that I really can't put in words for you yet because I'm still in planning stages with Bernsey and with the PMA. But what we really want to do is have you back here on the day we do sleigh ride for the whole school. Whether or not you choose to play is one thing, but on that date where we can kind of get everybody together again, I hope we can get together and talk about how crazy the past year has been and how careful and smart you were for your first 4 months away from us. But those two things are on my mind right now. So I hope you had fun. I hope this has been an enjoyable experience for you. I hope that this tradition continues and even more so. And I wish you all a very good night and a pleasant tomorrow.